Good morning and welcome to the Early Bird. And here we're looking at the XJO, and it's normally up in this corner here with this. And I just wanted to make a couple of points, essentially, that we were looking for a five-wave structure to come down through here in terms of the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. Except this is starting to come a little bit too high now. Normally that would be at a 38.2 retracement level, which would be at this level here, and now we're up at the 50 there. I did have my eye on this little gap here at the 4700 here as possibly being covered, but that would change the wave count in terms that that we've got something much larger to the downside unfolding, but I don't think that's the case. So once this market finds support on the 4.7 there, we pretty much really need to turn bullish, and that's the same. I like to follow the larger stocks as well, and the smaller ones, the XTL here, the top 20 here, the same thing as well, but that would be at the minor level there at 2.8 there. So support on, even though we've got low volume here on these here, we see a bit of sort of weakness. We're not, it would have been, for a turning point, it would have been better if we'd seen excess volume here, seen the sellers come in, but we're not really seeing the sellers come in, we're just seeing the buyers dry up for a moment. So look, support on the 2.8 here would sort of flip that to the upside. So that would pretty much make this, instead of a five-wave structure down that we were considering, it would make this more of a ABC correction as such, like this. And if that's the case, then we would be pushing up, and pushing up in five waves like that. So essentially we're looking for five waves like that, and we're kind of seeing that on the Dow, on the S&P 500, and even in one of the banking stocks in Goldman Sachs. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Have a quick look at that, and then duck back down to CBA. So on the US stocks here, this is Goldman Sachs here. What I wanted to point out is, first of all, the nice clean three-wave correction here. And it would make it a three-wave correction, obviously, if it moved up, you know. So taking this one out here, and also this one out here. So this little pattern down the bottom down here is the one that sort of interests me the most, is because it's quite clear that it's in a nice five-wave structure in terms of up for one, back for two, and then all the way up for the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Because the extension's in the third wave, that means normally that wave 1 and wave 5 will be about the same size. Inside the third wave here, there's another five-wave structure in there, which is also nice and clear as well. The 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. There would be 5 in this, in the third of the third of the third here. The most powerful point in the wave structure. So here we'd be looking at an A and a B and a C, or some type of correction anyway, probably finding support in this little sort of area here, and then moving up through here. So look, we're seeing this bullish pattern in the banks, and I think we just need to make a note of that, and also on our local market as well. This is CBA here. It's not developed quite the same as the Goldman Sachs one, but it's getting there. In this case, at this moment, it can be corrective going up. I understand that, but also up for one, back for two, and then we're dealing with the third wave. And we talked about the extension in the third wave in Goldman Sachs there. Well, that's the same here. So the third wave still unfolding. It would be up for one, back for two, up for 3, back for 4, and up for 5 for the top of the third wave. So there'd be the fourth and the fifth there. Once again, the strong center point in the third of the third there, where it becomes strong. So we need to sort of look at this developing pattern here, because in the copper market that we're that we sort of look at a lot, it was very strong last night, as you probably already know. So when we look at the global indices here, This is the Dow Jones on a 2-minute chart. I want to sort of go back a little bit to the 30-minute chart here. And with the 30-minute chart here, we're looking at we were looking at this being a fourth wave through here, because we counted from this bottom of this fourth wave up through here without confusing it too much. Essentially, we're looking for 5 waves in, and they weren't there, so we're expecting a fourth wave and a fifth wave. But this fourth wave has gotten really too big for, you know, this wave 1, 2 here. So there's something else happening here. But what I wanted to point out here is that that should be the top there right now. That should be it there. So we'll see. So that's the fourth wave to there, because this would be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and that would be 5 waves in there, which we're looking at in the 2-minute chart, which we can look at in a minute. But anyway, this structure here as it stands should be finished there, right there. So we'll see how we go with that. But what I was pointing out this morning is that everything that's going up through here is getting larger and larger. So the corrections are getting larger, and also the trends are getting larger as well, even though this one's not sort of developed just yet. But it's basically expanding, and you know, that's a bullish sign. So we're not really seeing any weakness in this particular small trend that started up through here. So I'm sort of leaning towards the bullish side on everything. But you know, as we discussed before, the 12,150 was the balance point in the correction. So in a larger correction, a couple of degrees higher. So if this became the support here, then we would be bullish. But you know, I think that we can sort of start to look at that situation now. And the same with the S&P 500 as well. It's just lagging a little bit, the S&P 500, and the Euro's lagging further. The Euro's still just down here with its correction. But yeah, we've got a double top there, so that double top, I would imagine, will be taken out. That little 5-wave structure coming up through there should have a reaction there, will drift lower during the day, of course. But after that's done and dusted, after we've got some sort of little pattern here, then that should push up further through there. So that will be interesting to see how that goes there. So anyway, the 13 there, there'll be problems there. The wave structure should see a new high above here. So looking at the 1310 here, and that's where that should finish. But as far as the Dow's concerned, that's finished already at the 12,100 there. Looking at that on the 2-minute chart coming up through here, because I was just counting the last little sort of 5 waves up through here. But this, yeah, anyway, we'll see how that goes. But looking at the FTSE as well, the FTSE has got this corrective pattern in here. So this corrective pattern would be an A wave, probably to here actually. Let me see. Not quite sure, but anyway, whichever way you look at it, would be the A wave to there or to there, the B wave to there, the C wave to there, and then we're looking at this impulsing through up here. So this is corrective, so new highs will be made. So as long as the 5772 here stays in play, the 58 will become support eventually, and move higher from there. With our local market here, the SPY, yesterday we were talking about subgroup 2 here becoming, the trade would come from the 672 here. So pretty light sort of volume there really when you look at it. This is on a 5-minute chart. But point being is that it has mucked around here a fair bit, but this point down through here is corrective. So we should see this move up through the 4,700 now, and up into subgroup 1 here, which is 10, 20, and 30. It's just that the 72 in here seems to have a bit of pull there, so we'll see how we go with that. Yeah, okay. So the drivers for this, the first thing I wanted to go to here was the copper market. So we're looking at 5 waves moving up in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We were concerned down here that if we had overlapping wave structure of this here, then we would be in more of a bearish situation. The 425 was pretty much the line in the sand. A breaking of that would make that a 3-wave move to that point. But everything splitting hairs, but stayed intact here, and support was eventually found on the 430, and will run quite nicely to the 450 now. So you can see once again that in this section here we've got the wave structure. I'll just sort of go over that. There's a 3rd wave in the middle there, and there'll be 5 waves in that. But from this point here, we've got 5 little waves into this point here, and then back. So that's wave 1, and back for wave 2. Now, I won't break this down, but there's 5 waves in here, and this will be a wave 4 here, and this will be a wave 5. So from this point here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, wherever that finishes in there. And then, so that's like the 3rd wave there. All right, then on the outside of that, we've still got this little guy here, right, which is up for another wave 1 and back for wave 2, same as that was up for wave 1 and wave 2. So we've got wave 1 and wave 2, and we've got all the way for 3. So then we'll have a 4 and a 5, and that would include this one here. But we've still got this guy here to go as well. Okay, and maybe even this one here. I'm not sure if that's actually part of that structure. They haven't pulled that apart, but we've got a series of 1, 2, 1, 2s, 1, 2s, 1, 2s here. So then we've got our 3rd. So then we'll get a series of 4s, 5, 4s, and 5s. So I'm hoping that would take us, well, possibly take us to the 450 here. There will be problems at yeah, so anyway, that's the smaller levels, that's to go there. The oil's cruising along quite sort of nicely, and its wave structure as well. We've got, depending sort of how you look at it, we've got wave 1 to here, and wave 2 to here, a little 3 and 4 and 5 to here. So we should see some sort of correction across the 105 there. Now, this can get also bigger as well, because on this 3rd wave here, we've got this down for an A wave because it was in 5 clear waves through here. So I assumed that this would be the B and the C here. You could even drag this into the correctional part as well and have a sort of an ascending triangle if you wanted to. Yeah, this can also, I've seen this before in this market, so we could get a much higher price here in terms of up for 1 here, back for 2 here, up for 1 here, back for 2 here, and then we're moving further up. So what I suggest here is that we would allow this to correct across the midpoint here, the 5, and if it gave a corrective pattern, then it would move higher. So we'd look for the natural 3 swings across here, and then finding support, and then moving higher. And you can kind of see that in some of the stocks. So if we look, if we look at OSH, for instance, because we've been looking at this before here, so we're looking at this being a 3rd wave up through here. So in its own way, we've got, just as we were speaking then, we've got these series of like 1s, 2s, 1, 2s, and we've got this 3rd wave sort of in here. So this would be part of the 4th waves here. So there's the levels here would be $7.20, $7 is fine as well, $6.80, all those areas there. So what we'd be sort of looking at here, in a sense, is that in this market here, we've got 5 waves in this so far. We've got 1, 2, and we've got the 3, the 4, and this will be the 5th wave coming in through here. So this is low volume here, and you'd want low volume on a correction. That's actually a bullish thing. So we should see this move higher off that support at 701 there. The group 1 here will be the 30, the 20, and the 10. It's just that the 72 there, just, you know, as we knew when we're coming up here that time, that, you know, that would have our sort of ticket clip there. So, yeah, we'll see that again there. But the support, we'll see 5 waves up through here, and then we'll see what we get back. If we get an ABC back that's a corrective pattern, well, then we'll push even higher. So just be careful about chasing this, because we will see it up here, but then at some point we will see it come back again as well, and that will be the time to pick it up, depending on its structure there. Well, with copper moving up, we've got the FX market moving up, and the Australian dollar would be, I'll put that on 5 there, would be the go here. So yesterday we talked about being long above the 101 there, and yeah, that's the case. So that's, as long as copper's pushing up, then that will continue to push up as well. So this move up through here, as you can see, has got sort of 5 waves occurring, and we've got the 1 and the 2 there. This would be the 3rd wave into here, the 4th, and then on this last bit here would see something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it's correcting now. So look for this to come back to this area here for support. So we moved already. It's already gone up there. So still impulsing to the upside. So it's obviously not finished. And my point was that it will follow copper up, and that's what we've been thinking for the last few days, and that will continue to do that. So look for support on this level here if you're going to find an entry into this market. This is the 105 level here as well. So 5 is the second strongest number. So allow it to do its thing here, and if it finds support, then trade it further up through there. The euro hasn't really made a turn just yet in its move here. Its pattern's a little bit like the correction on the S&P 500. Well, it's pretty much the same really. So in the way that we've got this 3 waves down here, we thought we had a position on the 72 here to move up to the 142 here, but it never found support on here, so it's moved back down. But this pattern here, this 3 waves, this ABC here, is the same as the S&P 500. So the S&P 500's moved up. It was lagging behind the Dow. So if that is a corrective pattern, we're going to move up from here. If that is the case, then you'd want to find a good support on this level here. So this is 141, then we've got 1, 2, and 3 here, which is subgroup 1. So we want to find support on there. It's not happening yet, but keep an eye out for that, and if that occurs, then you can move in from that point there. Now, any short trades that would be taken in here, you'd really want the market to work its way through here, lock under that 141 there, and then start moving down from that point where you can short it from there. Shorting it above this level here, you can do that, but it's just that you've got you've got support against you here, and all these sub levels here are going to be a problem for you as well. So, but once you're under there, then it's cleared all those out and it can start afresh. And at that stage, more people would be bearish, because you would have dumped the value buys at that stage, and then you can trade down from that side there. So it's really a matter of giving it time to work the 141 here, and also the US dollar index. The more that finds support on the 76, the more that you can short this one here under the 141 here. Alrighty, well, that's it. Just to recap here on the Dow Jones here. As far as the Elliott count goes, that should be the top right there. What can you say? Just have to watch and see what happens. But we understood that the 12.1 was a strong resistance, and this area here, this is strong in terms of resistance and supply here. So let's just allow to see what structure we get from here. But as mentioned, the move up from here has been expanding. So it's got that strength there. So we're facing weakness here, but we're being brought up on strength. So we need to allow this battle to play out to really get a grip on what's going on. But as far as we're concerned locally, the copper market, or the base metals, are moving up strongly. So that will take our resources up. And as I pointed out with Goldman Sachs as well, we could have the banks on side for a bullish pattern developing. We've got the first little subwaves being created here on one of the banks here. So this is an important little aspect here. It's sort of technical confirmation that we have a piece of bullish information, and we need to see that develop a little bit further. But this helps us in shifting our positions or our weight to a particular balance line within the market, and that's the game that we're sort of heading towards. So, alrighty, food for thought, and good morning and good luck.